Welcome back on Dynamod. Today I want to propose you a video about the new Necron Warrior model, and this is a review about how it can be compared with the previous and how the ideas about this model come out. Moreover, it's a way to understand if it's worth to monetize it or not, and I can yet anticipate you that maybe you should not monetize it because there are some problems about doing such thing, but anyway it's up to you. This model anyway is quite amazing, really more I can say fluid, more dynamic than the previous one, even if the model is almost the same, and we'll notice how. But anyway, this is a really great, wonderful model for the Necrons, and it's really a model that is worth to be the base for the Necrons armies. And the first thing that we can do is compare it side by side with a previous Necron Warrior. We can see that what changed at the end was the part about the tube, that it was transparent one and so on, and I really loved that tube, but now it's like for the immortals. So now we don't have anymore this part about that it's characteristic, I think, but it's also true that it was a problem to find something to change the color of the tube and so on. So at the end it's okay that has been changed, because it allows you to use the painting to suppress and change the color that you weigh, the color of the weapon, and the type of, I can say, black hole that it can represent. So in that way it's quite amazing change, even if it's a pity because I liked at the same time, and it would have been interesting to have different of such tubes to use for your own models. And here we can see side by side the new Necron Warrior with a side the old Necron Warrior and the Immortal, and we can see a lot of similar ways. So for example, the way that it's kept the weapon and the part about the race, that there were the tube in the old Necron 1, we can see that it's similar to the Immortal. So we can find that the new Necron Warrior is like a smaller version of the previous Necron Immortal. So in some way it's a way that you can renew the Necron Warriors themselves, but at the same time not change too much from a concept that was yet introduced. So now it's more, I can say, a way to make all the army at the same theme. So really quite interesting and quite good done. And here we can see more in detail the comparison. So we can see that the size of the weapon is practically the same, it's identical, so they haven't changed the weapons themselves as size, and the models themselves are the same as size. The large, the height, everything is identical. What changed is the position, that it's more dynamic about the new Necron Warrior, and you have more different poses to take note. Anyway, they are really quite awesome. Remember, these models are something that you can personalize if you want. They are a bit more damaged than new ones, because there are some damages, but quite amazing. And here I wanted to make you see how close it's the design of the new Necron Warrior with the Immortal. The design of the weapon, the way that it's kept the weapon, it's quite similar. So they kept a design that it was for the Immortal and adapted to the Necron Warriors. So I think that it has been done a good way to do in this. And I want to remember you that the new Necron Warriors has two different options of weapons available about shooting. And as you can see, it's quite easy to change from one weapon to the other one. You only have to pay attention to which weapon of the different available are suited for that body Necron. But anyway, it's really quite simple to change from one weapon and another. So I suggest you not eventually to monetize, because it's not so easy to do in this case. So I suggest to use a mechanical way, or eventually to build directly some models with the other weapon that you are sure that you use not so often, and so adjust when you need. But suppose that we want to monetize the weapons, we have to monetize these all that we can find in the weapon itself, and we had to understand that we had to do for all the weapons obviously, but in this case we don't have much problem about such all. The problem about these are the part about the shoulder, that it's a bit problematic. We don't have much space to do this. Instead, the part about the model, it's not a problem. What it's the problem, it's the part that we had to connect the part in the weapon, that we should use a really small magnet to use. Sincerely, I don't find it the good way. I prefer a mechanical connection for doing this changing. Anyway, it's available also the Magnetizing if you really want. As we've seen, this new Necron Warriors has the same concept as the actual Necron Immortal ones, but at the same time they keep the concept of the old Necron Warriors. So it's a really good mix. I think that if they would have been released when the Necron Immortal has been released, they would have been perfect, because they would have been a really good way to have everything harmonized. But even if they are being released now, they are perfectly suited for a Necron army, so really wonderful ones. Anyway, about the weapon which choose for them, it's up to you, because the rule can always change and so on. They can even have other weapons in the future and so on, so I'm not be in a way that you had to monetize or you had to do. The only thing that I suggest you is to make a mechanic exchange, because in my opinion monetizing such models it's not worth, at least for the Necron Warriors. Instead, for the Immortals I bring a video about. But what is really interesting is that you need a lot of Necron Warriors for your armies, and in some way I think that maybe have or some selecting some models that you can be sure that you can make a mechanical exchange without any problem, maybe the same ones, or anyway try to have a 1-2 squads of 10 Necron with the alternative weapon eventually to be able to use it. So it's up to you. Anyway, they are really amazing models. So from Dino Mode it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video, or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.